Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now it has happened. Bitcoin just officially confirmed this new signal on the 3-day time frame that we need to pay attention to. But in the immediate short term, on the smaller time frames, Bitcoin is now starting to run into this important line of resistance, alongside Ethereum also running into a very crucial level of resistance in the immediate short term, while XRP is further confirming this new bullish signal on the daily time frame. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, and the super chain indicator is still sitting in the red, indicating a larger correction or a larger bearish market for the price of Bitcoin. And of course, if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin price chart, we technically still have a massive bearish divergence to watch out for, which is not gone away over the last 1 day. So keep that in mind. Not a lot has changed over the last 1 day on the weekly time frame, but what has just confirmed over the last 1 day is of course the latest 3-day candle close, which now is officially one confirmation signal confirming this new bullish divergence on the 3-day Bitcoin price chart. And the last time we saw a bullish divergence confirm on the 3-day Bitcoin price chart was all the way back in around early April this year. So obviously it's been quite some time since the last time we confirmed this same signal on this time frame for the price of Bitcoin. And of course, what happened last time we confirmed this bullish divergence on the 3-day Bitcoin price chart? We saw actually quite a decent bullish move following that move, but keep in mind, we don't always see that sort of outcome from a bullish divergence. In fact, what is much more likely is just a slight bullish relief, or at worst a sideways consolidation, but most likely a bit more of a bullish relief is quite likely in the coming weeks or so. And so once again, understand the difference between the different time frames. The bearish divergence on the weekly time frame is a much larger or longer term signal that has already been playing out over multiple months and could potentially continue to play out in a few months from now, for example. But in the meantime, just for the next couple of weeks or so, in the somewhat shorter term here, this bullish divergence can help the price of Bitcoin have a bit of a relief, a bit of a break from all of this bearish price action, at least for now, just in the somewhat shorter term here. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, obviously right now the price of Bitcoin is continuing to bounce from this Fibonacci level of support, which is sitting at around 85,500. So really in between 85,000 to 86,000 is of course the area of support that I've been talking about for many weeks now on the channel, and at least for now is still acting as support at 85 to 86,000. And as for resistance to watch out for, now that we're seeing a bounce from this support and of course a bullish relief playing out in the shorter term here, we need to pay attention to resistance along the way towards the upside, and we have a significant area of resistance still sitting in between around 92,000 to 94,000. So keep that in mind. Previously we've seen multiple rejections from that area of resistance. And if we're taking a look at the shorter term here on the 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, over the last few days, we've also had a shorter term bullish divergence play out very nicely here, mostly in the form of just a slight bullish relief, a little bit of sideways price action over the last 1 to 2 days as well. And so obviously this is still playing out as expected, but once again, we need to be aware of resistance along the way towards the upside, where the price could potentially start to struggle at or possibly see rejections from, like obviously 92 to 94,000, as I just said, massive resistance in between 92 to 94K. But before we can reach that area, we also have this previous ascending line of support now flipping into new resistance, which is sitting at just under 90,000. So really in between around 89,500 to 90,000, expect resistance around there. But overall, if we're talking about the next few days or the next 1 or 2 weeks, just the somewhat shorter term here, I am currently more bullish than I am bearish for the price of Bitcoin, just in the shorter term situation, once again, due to the fact that we're bouncing from important support here. We did not break below that support. We are holding that as support. And of course, due to the fact that we've just officially seen one confirmation signal to confirm this bullish divergence here on the 3-day time frame, pointing towards a little bit more of a relief in the somewhat shorter term here, at least in the coming days, most likely the next couple of weeks or so. And also, if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we could still see a decent amount of liquidity building just above the price of Bitcoin at close to 91,000, really in between 90.8K to 91.1K. So at give or take 91 21,000, we still have a decent amount of liquidity building right there for the price of Bitcoin, which is obviously right here on the price chart. And so remember, it's possible we could see a little struggle before hitting that liquidity at give or take 90,000, where we have this resistance. Once again, liquidity at around 91k, a bit of resistance at just under 90,000 based on this ascending line right here. And then if we break out past all of that, the next massive area of resistance, once again, 92 to 94k. And in case you're wondering, if we can eventually break out above 94k, the next massive resistance would be sitting in between 99 to 100,000, but we still have a lot of resistance we first need to break out above before we can start talking about these higher targets. And obviously, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, you have to be set up ready to go on a crypto exchange. And if you're using the first link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment, that first link below the video will take you to this page right here over on the Pinex crypto exchange, where you can take advantage of some massive bonuses that are only available using that link. For example, if you make an account using the link below the video, complete KYC, you get a 50 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. And on top of that, there's deposit bonuses here. If you deposit as little as 100 USDT, you get a 100 USDT bonus on your Pinex account. And if you deposit 10,000, you get a 1,000 USDT bonus onto your Pinex account. This is basically free money from the exchange, which you can claim using the link below the video to simply make your account and claim these bonuses using that link once again over on Pinex. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well take advantage of that using that first link below this video. But if you want a no KYC crypto exchange to also place trades on, an exchange that I also use myself, then for that, check out the second link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. That second link below the video will take you to this page right here over on the 2bit crypto exchange, where you can also take advantage of exclusive bonuses that are only available using that link. And on top of those exclusive bonuses, there's also this trade protection and trader recovery fund that's only available during this event that's running right now. And so as you can see here, if you're making your account during this event using the link below the video, your first 7 days of futures trading, you can get up to 200 USDT in trial funds. So basically loss protection. If you're losing in your trades, you can get some of that money back. And on top of that, if you're getting liquidated over 50 USDT during this event that's running right now, then you also may be eligible for recovery compensation up to 1,000 USDT depending on your liquidation. And so obviously, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well take advantage of this. Check this out, second link below this video. And remember, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, and right now, at least in the somewhat shorter term here, the Bitcoin dominance is still trending in the bullish direction. Obviously, at least for now, we're still forming higher lows and higher highs despite the occasional shorter term little setback. And so overall, considering this slight bullish trend in the Bitcoin dominance, it means that Bitcoin will likely be doing a little bit better than a lot of the major altcoins out there on average. Obviously, there's always outliers when it comes to the altcoin market. So even if the Bitcoin dominance is bullish, you can still find some altcoins out there that are outperforming Bitcoin, but a lot of the major altcoins out there will likely be performing quite similar or slightly underperforming Bitcoin, while this Bitcoin dominance is in this slight bullish trend. And if we're taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, right now the price of ETH is once again testing this important Fibonacci level on the price chart, which was originally Fibonacci support, and then it flipped into resistance and then support, and now it is once again acting as a resistance, and that's sitting at just above 3,000. So really in between $3,000 to 3.1k is the area of resistance that I've already been warning about for almost a week now, since the moment we broke back below that area. And so obviously continue to expect the price to struggle or possibly reject from around 3,000 to 3.1k. And as for support to watch out for, expect a lot of support at close to 2.8k, especially in between 2750 to 2.8k acting as support. And obviously that's pretty much exactly where the price bounced from at this local low. And if we were to break below that support in that situation, I'd expect more support in between 2.6k to 2650. And if the price of ETH actually confirms a breakout back above 3,000 to 3.1k and holds above that level, in that situation, situation, the next target that I'll be watching would be sitting at close to 3250, just above 3.2k, acting as potentially some resistance. And above that, I would expect more resistance at around 3.4k. And if we're zooming further into the short term, we can clearly see a defined level of resistance here where the price is perfectly seeing multiple rejections and struggling at this level. And that is pretty much that $3,000 level. And so obviously the price of ETH is still trying to play out this bullish divergence. We've not yet invalidated the bullish divergence on the 3-hour Ethereum price chart here, which means we're trying to play out the bullish relief, but once again, we're running into major resistance. So ultimately, as of recent, this is causing just some sideways price action as the price is pushing up against the resistance, but so far failing to break out. So we're just kind of grinding against the resistance, at least for now. But if we actually break out above 3,000, then once again, we could find some resistance at around 3050 or around just above 3.1k. But like I said earlier, the next major points of resistance are sitting closer towards 3250 and 3.4k. And so honestly, over the last one day, not a lot has changed for Ethereum. I continue to expect very similar price action for the remainder of the weekend. And if we're taking a look at Solana on the daily time frame, right now Solana is technically still actively playing out this new bullish divergence, which is still active, not yet been invalidated. The bullish divergence on the daily Solana price chart. Obviously, we've already confirmed lower lows in the price in the candle closes and now confirming higher lows in the RSI. And so as usual, a bullish divergence means we're most likely going to see a break from all of the bearish price action just in the somewhat shorter term here. So considering this is on the daily time frame, the shorter term relative to this time frame is talking about maybe a week or two, that sort of time frame. We could either see a sideways consolidation or a slight bullish relief as the most likely outcomes, the most common outcomes from a bullish divergence on the daily time frame just over the next 1 or 2 weeks or so. And as for supports and resistance to watch out for, now that we've broken out back above this Fibonacci level, which was sitting at around $124, and previously that was support, now that we're back above that level, I would now once again expect support at roughly $124 as the immediate support to watch out for. And if we break back below that level, the next support would be sitting at around $115 to $117. And as for resistance, now that we're playing out a little bit more of a bounce in the short term, a slight little relief, expect some resistance at around $130, but especially in between 143 to 147 as a significant area of resistance if the price actually gets back up there. And once again, if we're talking about the immediate short-term price action, what to expect moving forward, basically expect very similar price action in the short term for Solana and a lot of these major altcoins as to what Bitcoin is doing. So if Bitcoin is slowly pushing a little bit higher in the shorter term, but struggling a little bit around points of resistance, expect something similar to this for Solana and a lot of altcoins just in the shorter term here. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, not a lot has changed over the last one day. Technically speaking, the larger price structure is still not looking very good at all on the weekly time frame. We're still obviously playing out this multi-month long bearish trend, a larger bearish divergence on the weekly chart, and we're still running into basically the final significant area of support before potentially a massive breakdown. And this final significant area of support, in case you're wondering, is really at around $1.80 as the lower end of the support. So for now, obviously not a lot has changed over the last one day on this chart, but if we're taking a look at the daily XRP price chart over the last one day, we've now seen a second confirmation signal, a second green candle close confirming in the price to further confirm this new bullish divergence, the smaller bullish divergence in the somewhat shorter term here on the daily XRP price chart. And in case you're new to all of this, obviously it might be confusing having a bullish divergence playing out while a bearish divergence is playing out. That sounds like a contradiction, but because they're on two different time frames, of course, they do not contradict each other, because we can see short-term little bounces, short-term bullish reliefs here and there on a smaller time frame during a multi-month bearish trend or much larger bearish trend, which is ultimately helping to be caused by this larger bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. And so once again, this is still actively playing out on the larger time frames here, but just the short-term situation, talking about the next maybe 1 or 2 weeks, we're most likely going to see a little bit more of a relief for the price of XRP, a break from all of the bearish price action just in the short term. So at worst, a sideways consolidation, most likely a little bit more of a bullish relief in the next 1 or 2 weeks or so, kind of like what we saw just here. or just here, for example, but not necessarily confirming the end of this larger bearish trend. And as for support and resistance to watch out for, obviously expect a lot of support at that $1.80 level, which we're still holding above. And as for resistance, expect resistance at around $1.95, which so far is pretty much exactly where the price is starting to struggle at. And above $1.95, expect major resistance in between $2 to $2.05. And above that, expect more resistance at around $2.15 to $2.20. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, it's a similar situation for Chainlink. Right now, we still have that new bullish divergence officially confirmed on the daily Chainlink price chart, with slight lower lows confirmed in the price in the candle closes, and of course slight higher lows confirmed in the daily Chainlink RSI. And so once again, as usual, a bullish divergence means we're most likely going to see either a sideways consolidation chopping around sideways or a slight bullish relief as the most likely outcomes from a bullish divergence. So overall, that's my expectation moving forward, at least over the next few days, most likely in the next 1 or 2 weeks, that sort of time frame, just seeing a bit of a break or a relief from all of this bearish price action, but not necessarily in the clear yet if we're talking about the larger trend on the price chart. And as for support and resistance to watch out for, obviously we still have a lot of support at give or take $12, and expect some resistance at around $12.80 based on previous support, flipping into new resistance at close to $12.80. And above that, expect a lot of resistance at around $13.30 to $13.50 approximately. And like I've already explained over the last couple of days, we also have to be aware of a possible head and shoulders pattern forming right now on the daily Chainlink price chart. We already have a possible left shoulder and head formed. We just need to see a little bit more of a bounce and then a rejection from give or take $13 to $13.50, and then come back down towards about $12 and then break below that level in order to actually confirm this possible head and shoulders pattern that is currently forming, but of course not yet confirmed. And so overall, those are my expectations in the shorter term and the key levels to watch out for Chainlink and all of these other crypto assets. And remember, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim the massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can trade these moves no matter what direction the price is going, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.